I'm Jason with Promotion Media Group and Dominate Digital Marketing, here to give you tips on how to make your marketing life easier online. Let's go. Today, we're going to go over how to create bulk social media posts in Canva all at once so you can schedule out your month or your quarter's worth of social media for your clients all in one swoop and get it off your plate. So let's get into it. First, you want to get into Canva, and from your home screen, click on templates and search what kind of template you're looking for. This particular client is an ATV dealer. There's probably a template for whatever you're looking for or something close to it. What's important here is to find a template whose design works with the look and feel of the brand that you're working for. Okay, so it doesn't really matter what the text says. It doesn't matter what the pictures say. None of that. So even though I'm working with an ATV dealer, for example, here, I may actually like this design for this car dealer or this one, or maybe even something down here with this lady standing here that could be for anything. Just kind of want to find something that looks like it could go, because I'm going to change pretty much everything that's in there anyway for the most part. Okay, so colors don't really matter. Text definitely doesn't matter. Photos don't even really matter. What you want to try to do is find a design that looks like it generally works with what you want to work with and choose that. For example, I'm looking for something simple for the most part, but something that looks like it's exciting and engaging. Okay, so for me, too busy is kind of off the table. Like this flyer here is kind of something that's more maybe for an email campaign or for a specific offer. So you've got a specific offer, maybe that makes sense, but I'm looking for something that's generic enough that I can use the same design for 90 posts. Okay, and all I want to do is change the text and change the picture out. Okay, so that's what we're going to do here. I actually might choose something like this, even though it's not for ATVs directly. I know that I'm going to change the background and the foreground picture. I'm going to change the colors. I'm going to change the text content, but I generally like the way the design is laid out. And I like that it's formatted for kind of a continuous theme. Strategically, I may come up with a marketing strategy that's, 100 fun facts about ATVs. And I may just post one fact every week or something like that. And this format allows me to do that. Mainly because when you bulk create through Canva, the idea that I'm going to show you today is that you're going to kind of create a lot of the same looking posts. So it's good to have a strategy that kind of is a series or a long-term campaign that you can just continue on a weekly or, an every other day basis. So I like that this is formatted for that. I think I'll move forward with something like 100 fun facts about Polaris ATVs or something like that. And that'll give me 100 different posts, all that look the same, that look consistent branding wise, but that I can just change the text and the photo content on. So let's move forward with that. I'm going to choose customize this template, format it however you want to format it. I personally want it to be on one line, but obviously much smaller. So I like to do this until it gets the size I want it to get. Okay. And then maybe I'll take this and put it down here because I want this to say this is number 1, something like that. Okay, the reason why I like this strategy is because it gives you a bunch of content to post at once, so you don't have to think too hard about what your strategy is going to be for a while. Number 2, it keeps the audience engaged if they're paying attention, or maybe if they've missed 1 or 2 or 3 and the first one they see is number 4, maybe they'll come to that client's page and look at the rest of the posts. Okay, so it kind of keeps them engaged, keeps them on their toes. Maybe they're waiting for the next one, but it also gets you to accomplish that brand awareness of that consistency, that frequency of message that you want to reach for that client's potential buyers, potential customers. So it just kind of keeps you in their faces a little more often with the same type of message. It's an advertising strategy that's been used forever. A lot of your big national companies have done consistent campaigning for a long time. Think about the Gecko. Think about Flo from Progressive, Jake from State Farm. Insurance companies are really good at that kind of stuff. Campaigns really meaning just the same type of consistent message with the same theme that helps the potential customer, your potential client's customer, retain information. Okay, so it's called recall. When a customer can see something and automatically remember the last thing they saw that was similar to that, that helps you maintain top of mind awareness. Most important things to remember about marketing is not everybody is your customer every day, especially in a business like ATV dealers. You'll have repeat customers, obviously, but the same guy isn't coming in every couple of days to buy or service his ATV. It may be a couple or 3 or 4 years before he's ready to buy another one. So, obviously the customer service during the sale and all that is important, but when from a marketing standpoint, the most important thing is to stay consistent with message and frequency of message to make sure that you're still on that customer's mind when it is time for them to purchase an ATV. So that's why a strategy like this is important, because it keeps you in front of them. I digress. Let's move on. I'm actually going to remove these numbers. Oops, not that. Going to remove these numbers and the extra text, okay, because I only need one text box. Because with the strategy that we're going to use, I'm only going to use one text box, and I'll show you why here in a second. Okay, before we go ahead and bulk create this, I'm going to change all the content, both pictures, the colors of the text, add the logo, everything that needs to be on there, so that when we bulk create and we go through and edit each slide, if we want to do that, and we don't have to do much editing because we've already done all the basics. Okay, I'm going to change these images out real quick with some images I already have from this client. First is the background image. Once I lay it in there, I can send it to back by going to layer and send to back. Okay. What I like to do though is I like to right click, go to layer, go to show layers, and I want to definitely remove this background because I want my image to be the background. I'm going to leave that where it is because I like the design of it right now. Okay, add my foreground image. And on Canva, one of the coolest things is if there's already in a placeholder that's already in a certain design and a certain shape, if you grab the image you want to replace that and just drag it over there until it shows you that it's going to replace it in the same shape and the same design and let go, then it will just replace it in that same placement. Okay. The background image is a little bright, so I'm going to turn that down a little bit. And I actually want the background color to be black because I like the way that looked better. So I actually want a black background. So I'm going to add that real quick. Go to square. Okay, I like the way that it's added a little darker cast to that, but it's covering both images right now and I don't want it to do that. So I'm going to go back to layer, show layers, pull this square down beneath everything right above the background image. I'm going to grab the background layer, the white outline of the picture, and I'm going to give it a little bit of a shadow or a glow, make it drop out a little bit. Okay, so for the branding piece of the post, as I call it, putting the logo on and making the colors match exactly, this is the order that I do things, just to make sure I'm not guessing with the colors and all that. Okay, because you want things to be consistent across the board. That's branding 101, right? I'm going to find my Lake Whitney Outdoors, which is the client's name, logo, click on it to insert it. Place this wherever you want to place it as it looks good in your design. Add whatever shadows or whatever you want to do to it to make it pop out more. I like to add a glow, just a really subtle glow. Not the most important piece of the content, but it's important. So don't forget to do that part. Okay, you definitely want to make sure all your content is branded. Okay. Now that we have the logo in the design, then we can go to all the different colors that don't look like they fit on the design, like these yellow arrows, the yellow text and all that. And we can make it match exactly to the colors of the logo. Here's how we could do that. Just select the element, go up to the color to change it. And usually, sometimes your logo will appear here under photo colors with all of the colors in the logo, and you can just select that color, okay? Sometimes you have to click see all, and this is what I'm talking about, okay? If you, for some reason, don't see that, you can always go to add new color, select the dropper, and go into the logo and select that color, and it will change that element that color, okay? Decide what colors you want to make each element. I probably want that to be that. I want to change the text to probably the orange from the logo. We'll see how that looks first. Nope, don't like it. Let's go with, okay, let's do the teal color and we'll add a shadow to it. You just want to make sure that it pops out, okay? I like to add a lift actually, because a shadow usually is a little too harsh and takes too long. Lift just kind of automatically lets it pop out, okay? White kind of goes with everything, so you can leave that white if you want. The design is totally up to you. I'm just showing you how to change the colors, okay? I want that to be a little more impressive. Let's do that. Let's do this color. You saw how I selected only colors that were from the logo image colors themselves over here. That's the easiest way to make sure all of your colors are accurately consistent with the brand before you move forward instead of guessing on colors, okay? I'm actually gonna move this to the corner because I know, oh, actually we need to select this background arrows too. Let's make these blue also. That's not blue enough. See, I selected that orange, but I just want to make sure it's the right orange. It actually is not. It's the original orange, so I definitely want to make sure it's the right orange. And I know that you can barely see it. I know it's subtle, but it's definitely a point that I try to make sure that we're not showing inconsistencies with branding. Okay, another cool thing that you could do is really just continue to do this with all of these elements. Okay, if you don't want these to be white and you want to continue to push home the colors that you're working with, then you can do that. You can change all of this stuff. I want those to be that orange, and I want these to be that orange also. Something subtle like that. I like the white better, but I just wanted to show you that you could do that. Okay, you can delete those too if you want. Totally up to you. Okay, I'm going to grab this. I'm going to go to effects, and I'm going to add the lift to the text also. Okay, and now here's where we get into bulk create. Okay, the first thing to know about bulk create Once we execute this, there will be 100 designs that all look the same. The only thing that will be different will be this text box. So if you want to change this picture, you'll have to go through all 100 and change the picture out. We'll actually have to go through all of them and change this number too, unless you just want to leave that off of there and make it easier on yourself, okay? So let's go ahead and get into the bulk create. First, right-click your current tab and duplicate it. It will create a new tab identical to the one you're opened to the right. Click Create, go to Document, click on Doc. I'm going to type a prompt here that says, write me 100 social media posts about 100 fun facts about Polaris ATVs. Okay, once I have that prompt, I'm going to highlight the text and I'm going to click on this magic write pencil and I'm going to click Continue Writing. What Canva is going to do is it's going to take that prompt and it's going to execute that prompt, okay? And it's going to write out 100 different social media captions for us. Now, Canva is done executing our prompt, and what I want to do with it now is click Insert, okay? And then I'm going to copy all of this text and then go back to the tab with your design. Go to Apps, click on Bulk Create down here under More from Canva. Click Enter Data Manually, clear the table, select a cell, paste all your captions, create your title, 100 fun facts, click Done, okay? Go back to the text that we're going to connect to this on your design. Click that, click the three dots, click Connect Data, select your list, and click Continue. Canva is going to show you all of the different posts that you're about to create. You can click Create 100 Designs. Okay, take a few minutes, and it's going to give you all 100 designs back in your projects folder on the home screen. So click View in Folder, it will open a new tab and you can find bulk, black, yellow, da-da-da-da. Okay, click into your project. Now you've got 100 posts. Again, they're all the same right now, okay? But all this text is different, okay? So you can format these any way that you want to, change the few things that you want to change, etc. Okay, once you download them, download all your pages, it'll go in a zip file and you'll have your 100 posts to schedule. It's pretty cool. Makes my job a lot easier, makes my life a lot less stressful. I really love this feature. Go ahead and click like, comment, subscribe for more tips. We'll be doing a lot more tutorials as time goes on. Thanks, guys. See you later.